This is a very interesting use of natives. Now, obviously, you've got creative thoughts about better use of Australian native plants, Lisa.
Yeah, I wanted to transform the thinking from the natural bush garden, which has its place, but use natives in a more contemporary context, using a lot of colour and drama together for bold effect.
You've got a great eye for ground covers and clumping things and just a low glade of plants.
There's some real treasures out there. Come across them in my previous work at the nursery.
You can give them
really
a plug.
like the detail. Well, yes, I worked at Xanthorrhea Nursery for 5 years.
Which is one of the best native nurseries in Australia.
Absolutely, yeah.
Certainly the best in WA.
I love colour. I absolutely love colour. I love the new growth on some plants like the Agonis flexuosa, the bronzy new growth against the green. I love contrasting that with silvery foliage, variegated. We saw the Flamingo, Leptospermum, just enables colour interplay. Things like a little Frankenia we found was perfect against the 2J stone, near some pink kangaroo paws. So there's a few little treasures that you just have to be on the lookout for.
For everybody over east, 2J stone, there's an area called 2J, and that's the stone what comes from that area. And that's the basic stone used in a lot of the areas of this garden.
Magic stone with lots of colour. Got yellow ochre, pinks, silvers, creams. Really fun to work against, lots of opportunity there.
You've done a lot of the stonework yourself?
I did all the stonework myself, yes.
Fantastic. Had you had any previous experience?
Not really, no. Start at the beginning and see where it went.
If it didn't fall over, you kept doing it that way?
That was basically the idea.
And so you worked with Lisa as the designer, you worked with her as construction and also some of your own ideas?
Well, basically I did the, as you say, the hard landscaping, and Lisa supplied the input from the choice of plants.
I love your rust. Now, how did you come up with the idea of rusty pipes for your water features?
Very agricultural.
Yeah.
Fits the scene.
It does, and it looks really good. Now, these aren't something you go and buy at the local nursery. Where did you get them from?
Out of salvage yards, scrap metal yards around the metropolitan area, wherever I could find them.
And then who did all this welding and...
That is my effort.
That's very good. And clearly you've got views of this from inside the house.
That was part of the design feature, yes.
Oh, that is wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
This garden is full of aspects of interest and colour. It's not a garden that you take one glance, one sweeping glance and you see it all. There's points of interest that need to be discovered and come upon.
And this was your first bit around the pool?
This is the first stage. This started about 3.5, 4 years ago.
And we should point out that, talk about brush with fame, although it appears that your name is Isherwood, in fact, you're a sort of a famous person horticulturally.
Well, my dad is.
Neville Passmore.
Yes, yeah.
As featured on Gardening Australia.
Yes, we're very proud of him.
Yeah, he's done well.
And, I hope to carve out my own niche in a similar but different field.
Okay. If you had your way and you were able to control the future owners of this garden, my guess is you'd be saying quite strong structural pruning at least once a year, every year.
Absolutely. In fact, I tell my clients that pruning is required every 3-4 months to maintain shape, encourage vigour and get more flowers.
Well, the end result is very, very good. This is one of those gardens that over the years ahead, if it's pruned, this is going to be a very, very spectacular garden.